Welcome back to the Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the high-stakes, kinda wild world of enterprise tech. We've got this massive balancing act going on, right? On one hand, you have the absolute thrill of aggressive AI innovation. But on the other, the critical, frankly non-negotiable need for airtight validation. We're pulling insights today from two major heavy hitters in the space. DrPinnacle, a global strategic management and tech consulting firm, and OpenVals, who are absolute specialists in enterprise AI validation, security, and compliance. So let's just jump right into it. Take a look at the question on your screen. Are you deploying AI faster than you understand it? Honestly, it's a super provocative question, and it perfectly captures that late-night anxiety keeping business leaders awake right now. Because let's be real, AI systems are being shoved into production at breakneck speeds, and a lot of times, it's happening way before the operational risks are even mapped out. It is literally the ultimate double-edged sword for the modern enterprise.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to hit the enterprise AI revolution, look at when AI fails quietly, figure out building the intelligent enterprise, unpack the AI trust layer, and finally peek at the future applied tech frontier.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the enterprise AI revolution, and the push for aggressive innovation.
Now, in the enterprise world, you've basically got two sides of the coin. On the offensive side, organizations are playing to win. They're leveraging AI to totally transform what they can do. Firms like DrPinnacle are putting together what they call nuclei. Think of them as absolute rockstar expert teams building custom applied AI and machine learning solutions to tackle really unique business hurdles, right down to streamlining stuff like quantitative trading. But flip the coin, and on the right, you've got the defense. That's where OpenVals comes in. They represent the vital model validation and security protocols you absolutely need to make sure those high-powered systems are secure, reliable, and actually validated for the real world. You really can't have the offense without a solid defense.
Which brings us right to Section 2, when AI fails quietly. Let's look at those hidden vulnerabilities. Check out this definition of behavioral drift. It's actually a pretty terrifying reality. Basically, even the absolute best, most thoroughly tested AI systems out there can silently degrade long after you deploy them. Say you have an AI model trained on last year's data. It might run flawlessly in a sandbox environment, but throw it into the wild under unpredictable real-world conditions, its performance just decays. And it doesn't break with a loud crash or a glaring error message, it just slowly starts getting things wrong. That's the scary part.
So the big takeaway here is that companies often rush their deployments without really grasping these three very specific, very hidden failure modes. First up, you've got hallucinations. That's when the system confidently spits out entirely false data and acts like it's absolute fact. Second is manipulation. Think bad actors using sneaky tricks like prompt injection to bypass security and manipulate what the AI outputs. And third, that behavioral drift we just talked about. Look, if you're deploying enterprise AI without a solid game plan for these three silent killers, your systems are already incredibly compromised.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, building the intelligent enterprise. We're talking strategy and infrastructure now. Notice how deeply interconnected this whole ecosystem is. This is a visual breakdown of DrPinnacle's offerings, and it's totally built on a security-first mindset. If you look toward the top right, you'll see private LLMs and enterprise AI. These aren't public bots. They are highly secure, domain-specific agents built strictly for your business, completely off the public internet. But how do you protect them? Scan down to the bottom left. You need proactive AI security and red teaming to hunt down vulnerabilities before they're exploited, and that's backed by their proprietary Radius platform. Radius essentially acts as this massive real-time threat detection engine at the enterprise scale. It's a fully closed-loop, resilient architecture. And just to ground all that abstract architecture into some hard numbers, 80%. That's wild. By using DrPinnacle's applied AI cybersecurity approach to proactively mitigate threats, one client actually reported a staggering 80% reduction in successful cyber attacks. So we aren't just talking about theoretical tech anymore. When you combine AI with elite engineering and rigorous security protocols, the measurable impact on your defensive posture is absolutely massive. Let's pivot to Section 4, the AI trust layer, getting that audit-ready security in place. So how do we actually protect against those silent failures we touched on earlier? Well, OpenVals defines this essential trust layer built on three core mechanisms. Number one is industrial-grade model validation, really rigorously evaluating bias and auditing for accuracy. Number two is AI security. You have to lock down those data pipelines to prevent model extraction and data leakage. And number three, which is absolutely crucial right now, AI compliance. In today's regulatory landscape, you need audit-ready alignment with strict global standards. I mean, look at the EU AI Act. You can't just cross your fingers and promise your AI is safe anymore. You literally have to be able to mathematically and legally prove it.
And watch how this builds into a really logical three-step enterprise maturity progression. The OpenVals core pillars kick off with the AI compass. That's all about establishing strategic foresight and technical clarity before anyone even writes a single line of code. Step 2 is AI engineering and data analytics. This is where you actually architect production-grade systems that can securely scale. And then finally, Step 3 locks the whole thing down with quality and assurance. Proactive auditing, industrial-grade validation, the whole shebang. It is honestly a brilliant blueprint for moving from just playing around with AI to true secure enterprise integration. Finally, let's zoom out for Section 5, the future applied tech frontier. We're going way beyond traditional AI.
Because the resilient enterprise of tomorrow, it is definitely not stopping at language models. As the DrPinnacle research notes, elite tech teams are already folding in much broader deep tech. We're talking applied quantum computing, which is essentially the future state-of-the-art tech that will fundamentally change how we analyze complex infrastructure data. And we're also talking about blockchain, which is super vital for the tokenization of organizational assets to build out robust smart contracts. The organizations that actually survive and thrive are going to be the ones applying these exact same rigorous validation frameworks to these emerging deep tech frontiers, too.
All right, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this final, incredibly critical question on the screen. Are your AI models truly an asset, or are they a hidden liability? Look, aggressive innovation without validation is really just sophisticated risk. You've got to audit your systems, validate your models against behavioral drift and prompt manipulation, and absolutely ensure your strategy is built on a rock-solid trust layer. Don't let your greatest technological asset quietly turn into your biggest liability. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll catch you next time.